beautiful moon reflecting?
Yeah, of course.
Move up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got to reflect on the water.
Yeah,
Wow. On the water.
Yeah. Move up just a little bit so we see the reflection on the water.
Tell me,
Stop.
You just got to get over next to the fence.
guys.
I got it. I'm at one back.
Let me go onto this hill and change. There's the people on the left-hand side, just be careful. The bushes on the right.
I'll let you know when they hit us.
That worked.
Right there works.
You guys can stand, no problem.
Hey, Carolyn.
Yeah. Oh, you're GoProing it? Aren't you cool?
Well, I don't know if it is or isn't, but I've got it on my head anyway.
The wires.
That GoPro, we couldn't ever tell if it was actually operating.
When we did the helicopter to the Barrier Reef, I had this on in the helicopter, and I'd never used it before. I borrowed it from a friend, and I took a picture of the top of the helicopter for about 10 minutes.
That was a good shot, though.
It was repetitive and clear.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know how to use a GoPro,
No,
huh?
I have no idea.
But it looks right.
So is this working?
Yes, worked.
Does
But
this
we
work?
have only 7% of battery.
I've got 3 batteries, and I can give you one if you want it. I've got 3 batteries in the
3
case.
batteries.
It's busy
Yeah.
Ah, you
recording.
can
This is.
show me how to use it.
When it's flashing red like that, it's busy recording.
That's fantastic. I borrowed it from the lady who is in the jewelry shop.
Pointing up.
You know, when you think about it, it's kind of hard to believe. We got up early to go see something that could kill all of us, and he's hungry. Yeah. Is that the ostrich? It's where we saw it yesterday. So see the ostrich, oh, I'm talking to the GoPro. Oh, that's a multitude of ostriches.
Dancing like we spoke about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's more.
You want me to hop out and open that?
Heading down the valley and take a drive all the way.
Our house in Brazil is very high.
Hopping out and getting
Then all these gates are powered by the sun. We haven't had a lot of sun.
They'll be slinging them open later.
Unfortunately, we're not going to see the sun rise, but we will see the rays penetrating up the shore, which will be beautiful. This is a quick history about these two pieces of water. These are known as the Gyres, or the Gyre wetlands. These weren't always here, but this Bushman's River, that river that runs in front of the lodge, was once in a flood, a really big flood, and the banks burst and the water came and fed onto this flood bank. Okay, with that a lot of sediment built up a bit of a wall and entrapped this water. Okay, this water is now fed by the river again if it floods, and mostly by rainwater and off run. Okay, all that white that you see on the banks, okay, that is all, you can imagine the water getting smaller, but why is it so white is because of the salt content.
Salt.
Okay, that's salt. So this water is extremely toxic. But it's a haven for birds. A lot of the birds that live here have migrated now. So in the past like 2 weeks it's become a bit of a ghost town. But normally in summers it's flooded with birds. And it also sometimes certain months of the year when we're lucky enough, we get quite a few lesser flamingos. They come and filter feed on the algae.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the flamingos, they feed on algae that lives in really, really toxic water. It's like extremely toxic water that if your skin had to touch that water, it would burn. Yeah. Crazy. You can see like the duck paths through the reeds.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
Big whales around 12 o'clock. Managing to hear me okay? Better?
Yeah. With a full moon behind it.
Yeah, beautiful, eh? Let me change my angle for the guys.
The giraffe really doesn't seem to care about us very much.
Well, he has
He
moved.
walked
He
away.
did move a little bit off, further away from the road because
Yeah.
you could see
He's
his
got a-
attention when we got closer. He was looking at us. He stopped eating. So that
He's
tells
got
you
a-
that he was a little bit bothered by us. If he wasn't bothered by us, he would have continued to eat. But not like he's extremely scared that he's running away.
No, the ears are very perked.
You notice the head of the giraffe is a lot more pale. Okay, and that's there to become like a beacon. So in Xhosa, this animal's name is Ngulomiti. Ngulomiti directly translated to English means the one above the tree.
Huh.
Yeah, I think a name perfectly fitted to the animal. And that white, those white ears and that white behind the ears, meant to stand out from a distance. So if other giraffe want to go and socialize, they can see one another. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So these guys, that's why you see him all alone. You might wonder where's his mates, where's his females. But they've got an association called temporary association. So that means one day you'll see him alone, tomorrow you might see him with 4 females, the next day you might see him with 2 males. Yeah. But he's a beautiful giraffe. Wow. He's a beautiful male. So if you have a look at his horns, we'd call them ossicones. Okay? This is the only animal besides an okapi, which occurs in the Congo, that have ossicones. You see on the top of those ossicones, he's got no hair. You see that, it's bald. So male giraffes fight with their heads, okay, like big wrecking balls. All the friction that they produce takes their hair off.
Huh.
Females, when you see a female, she'll have a lot more elegant long black hair on the top. Because they don't.
I know,
Yeah, and you can see he's not. So we'll leave. We will see many more. What a beautiful start. Let me show you something, because I'm sure if I say the word okapi, it's like gibberish to you guys. So this animal here, that you see there, okay, I'm sure you might have seen it in a zoo or something, but that there is the only other animal on earth that has ossicones that is a distance relative to a giraffe. Other than that, there's nothing else like a giraffe. So in my opinion, I think that is one of the continent's most unique animals. Beautiful. Give him some time. I mean, the sighting's beautiful. You don't often have a big full moon behind your animal on the daily. Can anyone ever guess how many vertebrae he's got in his neck?
112.
Same as us.
Yeah, 100%, Roger. He's got exactly the same as us. 7. But you can imagine they're this big. You guys also remember that you're a little bit above the ground. So maybe not all of you, especially definitely not Roger, but if I had to walk, I wouldn't even touch his stomach.
Is he adult or a teenager?
He's quite a young giraffe. I'd say he's probably about 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
The oldest ever giraffes live to is 25. But on average in the wild, they live maybe between 15 and 20. Yeah. Very cool.
Very nice.
Now just going to see what slipped here. Looks like a big elephant bull. See those marks?
Yep.
Elephant bull slipped with his front leg. I'm going to be behind you shortly.
The Chevys.
That's exactly right. Couldn't see the symbol.
These are impalas. Remember these? You'll notice they're all frizzy at the moment. So normally these guys have got like an oil painting coat. You know, very perfect looking coat. And it's due to the fact that they groom themselves and they allo groom themselves. So their bottom jaw, okay, holds their teeth. And they've got 2 incisors over here that move loosely in their gum, like this. Okay? And when they groom themselves and when they groom each other, it acts like a comb and it takes any dust or dirt or ticks with that. Okay? And the result is that you get a picture perfect coat. But when you see an animal that's frizzy, or an antelope specifically, when we get cold, we get goose skin and our hairs go erect. You can imagine when you've got a full body of hair, goose skin, everything goes erect. And when that happens, it traps a thermal layer, like a bubble of warm air between the fur, on the outer layer of the fur and the skin. And it keeps the animal nice and warm.
Oh, wow.
Just for us. Stay there now. You guys. I'm making it easier. Yeah. I would suggest as I move, he probably will stay there if I keep moving. When I stop, he's going to ask himself what do they want with me. So I'd suggest zooming in with the video. As long as I keep moving, you should stay
got a big headdress.
He's following us.
Exactly. Somebody's got Cheetos in that truck.
The virtual scoop.
Oh, right there.
So this guy's nickname is the Rainbird. They love Rainbird. They love to call after the rain.
Someone looking for me?
I'll play you his call.
Yeah, can you get it? Turn off it.
They've got a beautiful call.
Hello, man.
This is their call. That's a beautiful call. Come on, call fast. If you zoom in on his eye, you'll notice he's got a really, really red eye. So, okay, something very cool about this bird, he's got a foot structure. So it's called a semi-zygodactyl foot structure. So he's halfway between a raptor and a passerine. Passerines are like your normal starlings or typical little birds. And that foot structure, which is like an owl's, is designed for grabbing onto the branches and running. Okay, and he earns this bird the title of being a boreal. A boreal means he spends most of his life in the trees. Flying, only basically what you've just seen, short little distances like that. He doesn't really like to fly. So he will actively run on the tree and on the branches and actually hunt like that. He's got quite a sharp little beak. Okay? So that bird is called a boreal. So not your typical bird behavior. He likes to run. And if you think about a dinosaur that likes to run back in the day, it was a velociraptor. And as our technology starts to get better, we're starting to realize that dinosaurs, especially the smaller dinosaurs, all used to have feathers. And if you think about it, if you take a guinea fowl or a chicken and if you in your imagination sellotape two little hands on the front of a chicken where it runs around, it looks a lot like a dinosaur, eh?
Yeah.
And it's believed that a chicken is the closest relative that's on Earth at the moment to a T-Rex.
Wow.
That chicken.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. It'd be great if a T-Rex tasted like chicken, eh? Quite a mean looking bird, eh?
Yeah.
Eyebrows.
There's the eagle right there. Oh, he's baiting us.
Beautiful bird, the African hoopoo. And those are blessbuck.
Look at the horned beasts up there.
Beautiful little bird. They call that bird a hoopoo because of the call that it makes. It sounds like it says hoopoo.
I wondered what that was.
So those antelope you see there with the white face, those are called blessbuck. They earn the name blessbuck because of that facial marking. Looks like they've been blessed. Alrighty. Not the most intelligent antelope though. I've seen them make some very silly decisions. So interesting about this hoopoo, see his flight pattern, it's a flap, flap, dip, flap, flap, dip. It's ironically called a dipping flight pattern. You get to, the more that you bird, the more you get to identify birds by just their flight pattern.
More beasts. face is kind of.
Yeah, that's how they get their name, Blespa.
Oh.
But like I said, they're not like the ostrich, not the most intelligent animal, no disrespect to them, but I've seen them make some very silly decisions. Like they run away from a predator, and they'll run around in a circle and basically run into the predator. So, but it's also caused from a lot of confusion. So they host to a parasite, okay, called the botfly, and this botfly attacks their nasal cavity. And what happens is that this fly will fly up into the nasal, well, into the nostril, make its way to the entrance of the nasal cavity, okay, lay its egg. That egg will now pupate into the larva, that then will make its way in the nasal cavity into an artery and go spend half of its life cycle close to the animal's heart, okay. It will then move back up towards the nasal cavity, pupate into the adult fly and wait to be sneezed out. Like that.
Gosh.
You can imagine an overload of these worms, these maggots moving inside the nose, especially on a hot day. You know, they move around a lot because they're irritated. Also irritates this animal, and it makes them make silly decisions. To an extent sometimes where the blesbuck sits down on the grass, so irritated by these things moving in their head, that you could walk up to the blesbuck 2 meters and it won't do anything. I know it sounds terrible. Yeah, so fortunately going into winter, we don't have any of those around. It's too cold. So they get a bit of a break of that.
Huh.
Yeah, terrible parasite to have. You often see them when they move on the hot days. Like notice later on, maybe when we return back from game drive, they should do it. A lot of your zebras also are hosts to them. You'll see your blesbuck are going to be doing this. Okay, they're trying to get to that irritation. Cool stuff. We'll see plenty of these as well. Where we go.
Huh.
All those babies you see are from last year, December. Oh, honestly, I'm sorry you can't do anything about it, but where we're going is very far away. Well, it's at the most eastern section of our game reserve, so excuse a little bit of going without a bit of talking. Okay. Promise once we're in that area I'll slow the vehicle down. Okay. I'm guessing you can tell me where the river is.
Oh, wildebeest.
Okay, well this guy in Xhosa is in Concordi, which means the confused one.
Very confused.
Yeah, because of exactly what you're seeing now. They'll run, then they will run back to where they start. There's some zebra there. Remember I said you always often see the two together. So in Afrikaans, these are
So
called
that's what we ate last night.
Specifically, these are blue wildebeest.
They-
Sorry.
That's not your fault. I'm just short.
So the reason they've called them canoe is there's a name given to them by the Bushmen, because when they make a noise, it sounds like they say gnu. Gnu, gnu, gnu. So you know that migration that we were speaking about yesterday? When you see those documentaries of them moving up and down the east side of Africa. That is the black wildebeest. Okay, they've got a different horn structure. They protrude more towards the front. This is a blue wildebeest. Okay, this species didn't really migrate in its lifetime. They didn't see a need. They were a little bit further down where they had more annual rainfall and food throughout the year. The only reason the animal migrates is chasing rain. Okay, so when you don't need to migrate, there's no, what's the point? So this species stays in South Africa pretty much throughout the year.
Well, have the huge migration of 1 million.
Yeah. It won't happen here, but it happens over the Masai Mara and the Serengeti. So the Masai Mara and the Serengeti, they one game reserve. They just occur over 2 countries, so they've named them 2 different things. So the Serengeti is in Tanzania, in the south, and then Kenya further north is the Masai Mara. And they start in the Serengeti in the south, and they move up following rain into the Masai, and then they move back down south into the Serengeti.
What is the timing on that?
It's around, if I'm not mistaken, it's around October, September, October.
That they
Just-
start going
Just before the rainy season, before they start going north. And then they start coming back down.
October?
October, if I'm not, I can double check for you, but it's around October.
It's October, and then they stay there for how long?
For about a month, and then they start working their way back down.
It's a beautiful optical illusion. The rays can
Yeah,
in different directions, but they are exactly parallel.
to each other. It's because your eyes can't perceive it.
So beautiful. Yes. Parallel. What do you see?
It's
Like
bend.
a
It bends.
Huh?
Because it bends.
Yeah.
Lights
like-
bending. Let's get away from the ugly power line. Also, this you'll hear there's cars going in front of us. So this is sadly a district road that separates our game reserve. We'll jump off this big piece of property onto the eastern section. You can see the main lodge over there as well in the distance.
Oh, what is that? What is the buildings? What
That's
are
our
the buildings?
workshop.
Oh,
That's where the diesel gets kept, and when these guys break, they get there.
okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. You feel free to do that whenever you want.
Oh, it was a mosquito, so.
I knew something was around right over here. So.
At the top, that's why.
That's good. Sun's out.
It doesn't look too bad from here, but maybe it looks worse in the picture.
It's probably more dangerous doing this than being in the game reserve. So there are plans in place. A couple of, I'm not too sure when it will happen, but essentially what you would like to do is to link up all these properties, you can imagine, so your animals can, go over as much land as they possibly can. So to put tunnels underneath the highway is a plan. It's a really expensive process, and you've got to speak to the government because we don't own that road, it's the government. And I'm sure you know some rumors. South Africa does not have a very good government. And I say that with a smile on my face.